Hey everybody, the goal of this assignment is to help you guys understand the complex topic of the crown of thorns starfish and coral reef depletion. Now, this is way too much for me to just kind of rattle off on because it would be a super detailed presentation that would last like 45 minutes and it would put you all to sleep. And it's also way too much for any one person really to grapple and get a firm understanding of it. So what I've done is I've set up a shared slides presentation, and you're all going to research little bits of it, contribute to those little bits, and then by looking and reviewing at the slides presentation, you'll actually be able to get a total understanding of what's going on with this issue. I've started out with a basic introduction to kind of what the deal is. You guys can read through this as you want, but just a brief synopsis. Basically, there's this crown of thorns starfish. It's a starfish, and it eats coral. And scientists don't know whether or not this is a native species or not. And all we know is that we see it, and specifically we've seen it on the Great Barrier Reef. And then 3 years later, it seems to completely devastate certain areas of the Great Barrier Reef. We only see that. We see no more coral. So the evidence seems to suggest that this is a big deal and a big predator of coral that's helping contribute to overall reef depletion. Now, that's what you guys are going to actually start researching. Each group is going to take a separate topic. I'll go over those really quickly. You're going to research that stuff. You're going to put it into this shared presentation. And then again, at the end of it, by reading through this presentation and clicking on the buttons, you'll have a basically cumulative understanding of this entire topic. First thing I want you guys to research, one group I want to research the feeding and growth of the crowns of thorns starfish. Really just basic information. What is it? What eats it, what it eats, does it eat the same thing, does it really eat coral, does it eat only certain types of coral, etc., etc. Then I want you to research how it breeds. If this thing, breeds only sexually, does that mean that we can kill all the females and that'll solve the problem? If it breeds asexually, how? That sort of thing. Then I want you to one group to research the history of crown of thorns starfish outbreaks, not only on the Great Barrier Reef, but also in general. That means the first outbreak, and that means also more recent outbreaks that have happened. Then I want you to talk about reefs that have recovered from it. One group researched this. What happens afterwards? Can reefs come back from it? How those reefs regenerate, is it the same process, and is there a way that we can actually kind of manipulate that process to actually goose it along and help them regenerate? And then what causes outbreaks of the crown of thorns starfish? There's three separate general theories as to what causes these outbreaks on reefs. One is just that they're just natural fluctuations. I want you to research what that means in terms of the crown of starfish. One is the idea that we're removing the predators of the crown of thorns starfish, so they're beginning to breed out of control. One group I want to research that idea. And then the last is our effects on water quality in the ecosystem. And I want you to research what those are and why they would help crown of thorns starfish to develop. Last, I want some groups to start researching how we manage these things. Specifically, survey methods and long-term monitoring programs, as well as fine-scale surveys, as well as control methods for them, and then also control methods that have failed in the past, as well as control methods that are current. Now, again, that was really brief, and you can see that already that's 19 separate different topics, and it would be a lot for any one person to report out on. But if 19 of you or 20 of you all take small different sections of it, I think you'll all get it. So you can start looking at what group wants to do what, and start researching each of those small topics and feeding your research findings into those slides.